here with day 6, coming up to the Lion's Gate on the 8th of August. The energies are really speaking to us every day. The cards are speaking to us every day, representing the energies that are coming through. Whatever resonates for you, trust that it's for you. What doesn't resonate is for somebody else. This is a collective message, right? And the cards that came up today was the Devil, the Gateway. That's a beautiful portal. And communicate with spirit. So again, it looks like a portal and receiving light into the body. But when you start with the Devil, the Devil is what's hidden within yourself, is the shadow hidden within yourself. No one is here to attack you, no one is here to punish you, victimize you, accuse you, blame, shame or guilt. Everything, all these emotions that I mentioned, all these sensations that I mentioned, comes from our own perception and how we allow ourselves to feel in those emotions. So when those emotions are coming up to the surface to be seen, to be felt, we have a few choices. But I'm going to talk about 2 choices. I think if you haven't touched those emotions, sometimes we have no choice but to go through it so we can acknowledge, accept it, and release. Okay? The release will link to a story that happened to you, how you coped through that story, how you created coping mechanism to be able to cope with if the situation happens again. And then you will then become conditioned to a certain way of reacting to that. So when we are trying to make changes, when we have touched the shadow of those emotions and we have bravely felt it and released it, sometimes we're still dealing with the situations happening on a day-to-day. And there's that question, why? Why is it happening? Because now comes the second situation that I can see, the second choice, which is to make the choice. Okay? Is to make that choice, is to communicate with yourself and spirit, your guides, your heart, your soul. Okay? At that moment when those old patterns are coming up, and communicate with spirit, make that choice, right? What is the choice? The choice is, you have seen it, you have looked through it, you have healed it. You're wondering why it's still touching, why it's still coming. But you have that choice now and it's going to be much easier because you have transmuted most of it. But it's going to be much easier to make the choice to simply say, I choose the light. You've gone through the shadow. You've gone through the darkness. You've done the work. Yeah? And the fact that these things are coming up, they have a different meaning now. A very different meaning. So let's say, for example, if someone deals with issues with food, and there is a belief that food is harmful to you, right? Perhaps it was an allergy that you had, and you have overcome the allergy. You no longer have allergy, but you're still avoiding that food. You still have fear of eating. You still might think that if you eat too much of it over a period of time, you could have a reaction again. But now you have a choice to think of that food outside the shadow into the light. Okay? And this is how you start climbing up the different consciousness of that belief into a gateway to release for liberation, right? So now food for you isn't harmful anymore. Food for you actually doesn't have any attachment to you. Perhaps that thing that you had to cope and create coping mechanism to be able to deal with it no longer feels that way, no longer you think of it that way. And now you have a choice to look at into that food doesn't have any attachment to me. It doesn't matter how much I eat it, it doesn't do anything to me. And that's a choice. Yeah? Because now you're creating a different belief. Everything that we believe, we attract. So even when we are deconditioning from a limiting belief, it creates a conditioning into a more less limiting belief or a more freedom type of belief. And the freedom type of belief is that that food will never cause you any harm. Therefore, you're free to eat it. You can eat it, right? It's not attached to how it reacts to your body anymore. And I think the Lion Gate is really helping us to make those choices much easier, much, much easier. And I've noticed that on my day-to-day today, where there's moments where an old pattern came through and I was able to act completely different, very easy, on ways that I found it very difficult a few days ago. And then I felt the communication with spirit, I felt the communication with my soul, the resonance to that choice that I made. And I felt myself increasing in vibration, in frequency. And I was in a much higher frequency, so that pattern didn't repeat, the cycle didn't repeat, and it was almost like it felt like eliminated. Yeah, so I no longer part of that cycle. That situation no longer resonates in the same way with me. That situation no longer leads me to do or act in a certain way. I have a choice now. And I think we've gone through with the Lion Gaze through day 1, day 2. If you just listen to the videos in a sequence, it has been quite a lovely way of understanding the healing process, because the healing process is about acknowledging, accepting, releasing, and then refining. So this is refining and then integrating. Yeah, we have 3 more days to go to the to the portal, and the portal is when you go through, right? I just had that sensation of going through the door. Is when you are on the other, you go on the other side. So we are going through the steps, day 1, day 2, day 3, and things are being highlighted to us so we can get here. And I love this card, I really do. So this is the message for day 6. I'll be posting day 7 very soon. I chose to bring the message a little bit later. And thank you so much. Thank you, Wayne and Brownie, for your messages. I decided to come a bit later today. I was going to do it in the morning, and I thought, no, I'll do it later because I wanted to feel the energies. And I was really surprised how the cards represented exactly what I went through. And if this resonates to you as a collective, make a comment down below. Just just help me out understand how these messages are reaching you and helping you. And I would like to quickly mention about my Patreon community. I have a community on Patreon where we get together and we have weekly live private Zoom calls in group. It's a group healing. We do energy healing, we do tapping, EFT tapping, and we also go through topics of healing, right, to assist us into healing. But as a member, you have then access to a private group chat where we support each other. We have that support through energy, through love, through listening, holding space. And I think the group support is the most important part of everything because it allows us to continue with the healing without getting stuck. And I'm offering a series of moon meditations through the moon phases, which then will merge with the process of healing. And every time we can find that merging of the healing process with the moon energies assist us with each phase of the healing process. And if we can do that together, it can be very powerful. So thank you so much for being here today. We are Love and Light. Thank you.